Hello there, welcome to my show, COVID-19 update by Heerak. It's November 5th, 2020. Um, and it's Happy National Love Your Red Hair Day. It's red hair. It's artificial, but yeah, as you know the story, Meredith Goodrich, she's from Ohio. It's too bad what's happening in Ohio right now with COVID-19. Hopefully none of Meredith's relatives are dead. COVID-19 is horribly spreading in Ohio right now. But Meredith Goodrich, she was the president of Georgetown University uh, Nat Student Nursing Association for 2019 to 2020. So there were, 25 of us who graduated from Clinical Nurse Leader Program. So she was like president for us in our second year. It's a 2-year full-time program. And she's great, Meredith, she threw us a Halloween party in the fall of 2018, Halloween time. And she had like a wig on, and I dressed up like Spider-Man. So, yeah, just kind of remembering that. Love your red hair day. Meredith is a natural blonde. She has a very pretty hair, but she wore like a red mask, wig for that day. Um, yeah, yeah, it's a new election cycle. Election were held on November 3rd, 2020. They're still trying to figure out who won for some areas. And as you know, presidential election is still like up for grabs, which is kind of shocking. Yeah, I mean, who would have thought President Trump would trail behind Joe Biden, right? But he's kind of trailing behind Joe Biden, interestingly enough. Um, yeah, you might have seen this TV screen with that Joe Biden having 253 votes and President Trump having 214 votes. That was like frozen in the screen on the screen of CNN from like early in the morning till like late at night. I don't know if that's going to change today, but you know, um, it'll probably change tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, so either Joe Biden or President Trump will have some numbers at it. It's kind of interesting when you look at the United States, like whole geographically larger area is red. Uh, but Joe Biden has more electorate, electoral votes. That's because like population is what determines um, how many electoral votes you get. Yeah, it's kind of interesting though when you compare the geography. Uh, Wider area supports President Trump, but it's the cities you have to win, right? But unfortunately, cities are where COVID-19 is spreading as well. So a lot of people in the cities will die. Um, as you know, I'm a candidate for U.S. Congress of the 8th District. I'm still trying to decide whether to run as a Republican or an independent for November 8th, 2022. That's like 2 years from now. I'm getting a head start right now. Don Bayer, hey Don. Yeah, you have 2 years to enjoy. But yeah, yeah, I'm gonna try to stand Tom Bayer onto his early retirement from U.S. Congress on November 8th, 2022 by beating him. Tom Bayer is a Democrat. I've been a lifelong Republican. I ran as an independent. His kind of guided me that way through a series of events. Um, but it's a new election cycle, so I may run as a Republican, I may run as an independent. Let's see where God, leads. I mean, I could always start a new party as well. But I'm just going to try to follow the path of the Lord. Um, Behind me, you see Israeli soldiers. You know, in Israel, every man, women must serve in the military. Men for 3 years, women for 2 years. So men serve from like 18 to 21. Women serve from like 18 to 20. Obviously, somebody has to defend your nation, right? So it's like, when you're at home, mom and dad has to protect the children, right? So it's kind of like that in Israel. It's like a big family. So they have to watch out for their nation. So there's a mandatory military conscription for everyone, 100% of the population are citizens. So, so you see the Israeli soldiers behind me. Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen, it's a cliffhanger. You have Kilimanjaro, um, with this, you know, uh, Kilimanjaro dance there. And Kamazilla, Kamazilla. I haven't seen Kamazilla at all. Have you seen Kamazilla? Where is she in this election, but yeah, Kamazilla, kind of like Godzilla. But yeah, she seems kind of incognito, during this time. Um, yeah, but COVID-19 is killing a lot of people in America, and it's spiking. Death is spiking up, and it's a serious problem because obviously you don't want death to spike up, but it's spiking up. But I had to say, I told you so, because that's what I said. I said COVID-19 death will spike up. It's going to kill a lot of people. Um, so it's starting. Just as I predicted, there are healthcare experts who are saying, well, it's a milder form, it's a weaker form of COVID, not as many people are going to die. But I'm like, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. More cases, more death. 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 As you know, more cases, more death. You know, um, but people live their lives. I got an email from University of Pennsylvania asking me to interview high school seniors who applied to University of Pennsylvania. So I went into my admissions portal and accepted my interview request for the students that University of Pennsylvania wants to interview for the admissions office. Sent out their emails using my University of Pennsylvania email account. Set up times to interview them. They're students in exclusive schools. Um, Probably more expensive than some colleges. These are exclusive high schools. And students there are very impressive. I've been interviewing students from many different exclusive schools for a long time, and they're quite impressive. I definitely think it's worth the money. If you have the money, it's worth the money. If you don't have the money, obviously you need the money to eat and put a roof over your head, and so it's not worth the money. But if you do have the money, it's definitely worth the money. So I'm looking forward to interviewing them. Let's see if they are going to be amazing people in the future. I'm a kingmaker. I can tell who's going to be great, who's not. Generally by interviewing them, and that's the basis upon which I decide whether a student should be admitted or not. Yeah, so let's see. I'm looking forward to this application cycle. So generally, early decision admissions is due by November 1st. That's why I'm getting interview assignments now because application deadlines close. And the regular decision deadline is generally around January 1st. So you have better chance of getting in if you apply early decision to schools because it's like saying, you're my first choice. If you accept me, I'm going to go to your school. So, first choice, is an important thing. And University of Pennsylvania is great because if your parents don't make over $100,000, we pay everything. We pay like tuition, we pay your room, we pay your food, You pay nothing. We pay everything. It's cheaper to go to University of Pennsylvania than to a community college if your parents make less than $100,000 a year combined. Um, Obviously, you gotta get in. Getting in is hard because over 30,000 people apply, and we accept like 4,000 or so. So getting accepted is hard, obviously, but it's definitely worth to try. Why not? What do you have to lose, right? You try and see. Ducky's like, yeah, it doesn't hurt to try. Maybe you'll get like $300,000 worth of scholarships if you apply. Yeah, it could be your own personal Christmas. So, because we want to spread love all around the University of Pennsylvania, we want people to apply, and if you're good, we're gonna pay for your education if your parents make less than 100,000. Yeah, it's a great school to apply. Yeah, um, yeah, you missed the early decision cycle, but you could apply for regular decision. So I'm going to enjoy interviewing a lot of students from early decision and regular decision. I've been doing that for over 10 years. So I am like a trustworthy judge, interviewer for University of Pennsylvania. They sent me this cup, Penn, Penn is short for University of Pennsylvania. Penn Alumni Cup. It's pretty good, It's like made out of like pretty, I don't know what it's made out of, but it's harder than plastic. But it could be plastic, And you put hot drinks in there, cold drinks in there. It's like insulated, kind of. I guess it's not plastic. It's like tin mango, tin mango, tin mango, tin mango, tin mango. Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of curious who's gonna win. Joe Biden, Kim Joe, or President Trump. I'm kind of curious now. But yeah. Right now we have 1,278 deaths in 24 hours. So U.S. is headed to massive number of deaths. As you know, I'm a candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District. That includes Arlington, Alexandria Falls, Church, and Fairfax County. And I have declared my run for U.S. Congress for November 8th, 2022, 2 years from now. As you know, U.S. congressmen in America, they have to run for election every 2 years. Yeah, it's a lot of work, Senators, they run, what, every 6 years. So they get a breather, but, U.S. Congress, you get elected, you have to start running for your next election, Um, yeah, so yeah, I'm starting early. Because I want to, early, what do they say? The early bird gets the worm. you know, so I'm an early bird. I was like, you're a bird? You know, Heard that. I was like, you're a bird? um, yeah. So right now, United States has 234,911 deaths so far. Um, you know, and confirmed cases are 9,606,369. As you can see, in one day, more than 120,000 people got infected with COVID in America. And more cases equals more death. More cases, more death. More cases, more death. More cases, more death. More cases, more death. So, a lot of people are going to die. You like the Arabic music? You know, I learned Arabic, when I was in Israel, in Palestine. Um, so, yeah, I was kind of diving in Arabic with one of my patients at Virginia Hospital Center, um, Yeah, I mean, my Arab's rusty, but you know, I spent a lot of time studying it. I sent postcards in Arabic to my Arabic friends and stuff, yeah, it's a beautiful language. Um, yeah, Arabic music is kind of nice. This is more modern music. It's nice too. It's kind of based on the classic Arabic patterns, musical patterns. But they add a lot of modern instruments into it. So, it's kind of nice. I'm trying to bring in multiculturalism. As you know, a lot of my neighbors are from Arabic countries. My dentist, Smile Maker, they have several branches. Like they have one at Falls Church, they have one at Vienna, they have one in, what is that, in Fairfax City area. And I like Dr. Fadi. He's my, he did some dental work for me. So, yeah, Dr. Fadi's from Syria. I like him a lot, and my new dentist, my new dentist in Arlington, she's from Iran. Her mom and dad are from Iran, so she's 100% Iranian. She married someone who's like half Palestinian and I guess half like Venezuelan or like some Latin American country. And she's really nice. She's really good at what she does. I really like her. So she did my semi-annual dental cleaning. Dr. Fadi did other work. He's very good. And Dr. Fadi did some work on me like about a year ago. Yeah, I like him. His wife is really nice. They have a very good practice. Dr. Fadi. He's a good doctor. And yeah, so you know, um, I know people, I have friends who are from like Syria or Arabic countries or Muslim countries. Like Iran isn't Arabic, it's Persian. But yeah, so it's kind of nice. I want to try to bring you some eclectic music from immigrants and immigrant families in Arlington County. We have like over 100 different nationalities represented in Arlington. Um, yeah, so I'm trying to bring you some, help you become more culturally diverse or appreciating different cultures. Um, yeah. So going to top 5 cases of COVID-19 in Middle East, Iran is number one. So my dentist in Arlington, near near Pentagon City, uh, who did my dental cleaning. She's really good, and you know she fixed my chip tooth, and she's so good. She did it in like less than 30 minutes, and it feels good. It looks good. I'm really impressed with her. She went to University of Southern California Dental School. Um, I guess before going there, she went to I guess it was Virginia Tech, uh, where she met her husband to be, who's now her husband. Yeah, college sweethearts. It's kind of nice. When you fall in love with someone from college and marry them, it's a nice thing. It's a beautiful thing. And she's really good as a dentist, and her dental office is like on the same floor as Arlington Democrat big party, I guess, office. Uh, and it's kind of neat because, yeah, it's like same floor. I was going to the bathroom and saw the sign, Arlington Democrats. So their office is there. But yeah, yeah, it's like there are a lot of interesting stuff here in Arlington. You have over 100 different nations represented. There are different restaurants with different cuisines from everywhere. It's great just kind of exploring different cuisines, different food and cultures. And I like meeting people from different countries and learning about them and their experience as immigrants. I found it interesting. Dr. Fadi, he sends his children to an Arabic school. It's kind of like German school where Lena Knorr went to in New York, and she teaches in Washington D.C. Um, so they learn Arabic because the children, they may forget Arabic. So you go to like Arabic school and then you learn Arabic. And so Dr. Fadi sends his kids there, which is good. Arabic is a beautiful language. So you don't want your kids to forget it. I totally appreciate that. Yeah, but yeah. um, yes, Iran has 654,936 cases, a 6% death rate, 36,985 deaths. Iraq is number two with 489,571 cases, 2% death rate. So 11,175 people have died. Um, so the death rate is going up in the Middle East, which should be of concern. Iran's death rate is going up significantly. Iraq's death rate is going up. Obviously, with more cases, you have more deaths. It's like danceable music, this Arabic music. um, or just belly dancing. But yeah, belly dancing is fun. It's good exercise too. You work your stomach muscles and yeah, you can probably get a video of a belly dancing and then just kind of follow along, for exercise every day. You will exercise your legs and your knee and your hip, your belly, even your arm because you're lifting your arm like this. Yeah. Um, Saudi Arabia is having more cases and more death too, so it's a concern. Obviously, it's far below the levels in America and in South America and Central America, but still, cases are growing. Saudi Arabia has 349,386 cases, a 2% death rate, which is kind of higher because they had below 1%, but it's increasing. 5,489 people have died. Israel shut down the whole country completely. That's the smartest thing they did. Because even though they shut down, the death rate is kind of growing. Cases and death are growing. But if they had not shut down, they might have shut up to like rank two, or rank one even. So Israel has 317,863 cases, and that's 0.8%, less than 1%. 2,639 people have died. So they're still keeping the numbers pretty low. It's like only what, 2 days of death in America, right? Because we had 1,278 deaths. So it's smart that Israel completely shut down the country. Yeah, that's a smart thing that they did. So, Netanyahu, I say, give me five Netanyahu. You did good. You did good, Netanyahu. Yeah. But I like Zahi better. Zahi, boy, Zahi. Zahi, it stands for Itzhak. Like Itzhak Rabin, Zachi. Isaac is Itzhak in Hebrew. And they say, Zachi. Zachi. I like that better, but the tiny hours, the name is really long. So they call him BB, like, the Netanyahu is his last name. So I guess his first name is Benjamin, so they call him BB. BB, BB. You know, I don't know. BB doesn't, it doesn't do the same thing as like Zahi. Zahi, Zahi. You know, it's very masculine. Zahi, powerful. But like BB, BB. You know, it's like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I would. Well, you know, I don't want to say anything bad about Netanyahu's name, but beep, 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 you know, oh my gosh. Um, I bet Benjamin Netanyahu was a mother's boy. He's probably still a mama's boy. beep, 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 beep. Somebody give him a pacifier. Beep, beep. um, yeah. So, number five is United Arab Emirates. They beat out Qatar. They kind of pushed Qatar aside. And now they have 64,587 cases and at 0.8% death rate. So it was more like 0.6%. So it's kind of going up. 508 people have died. Yes, it's a concern. Man, I wonder if they're going to add any more like electoral votes tonight. President Trump and Vice President Biden. Yeah, we have three articles today. Um, yeah, United States is heading toward COVID-19 hell. You know, I mean, literally, you know. Um, we passed 100 cases, 100,000 cases, which is, we were very close to 100,000 cases yesterday, but we passed it today. Um, yeah, and it's a serious problem, you know, because during flu season, over 10% die. So if you have 100,000 cases, you're going to have 10,000 people die, like, you know, not right now, but like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 weeks from now, you know, people's conditions get worse, you know. Um, yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, is there such thing as a mild form of flu? Uh, you know, people can't really talk too much about how mild it's going to be because it kind of takes away people's guard, you know. Um, People have to be on guard in order to survive COVID. Um, yeah, so let's look at first article. U.S. shatters record with more than 114,000 new cases in a single day. And this is by several staff members at Washington Post. And the significant quote from here is, as Americans anxiously await the result of the presidential election, the United States is adding new infections at an unprecedented rate, prompting states to mandate new restrictions to try to stop the virus and sounding alarm about somber weeks ahead. Yeah, because somber meaning there's going to be a lot of people dying. Um, with more than 9.5 million coronaviruses reported as of Thursday, at least 11 states, including Iowa, Missouri, West Virginia, North Dakota, Nebraska, Idaho, Oklahoma, and Minnesota, reported record numbers of patient hospitalized with COVID-19. So, yes, people are getting COVID, and now they're headed to hospital, and 3 weeks later, they're going to die. Not everybody, but many of them are going to die. Because hospital tries to keep you alive, and some do end up living, but some die, you know, but it takes a while um, to die. Yeah, I mean, generally in flu season, you can expect more than 10% death rate. So, if we are having 100,000 cases in a day, you know, 3 4 weeks from now, we're going to have over 10,000 deaths per day. So that's something that you got to expect, you know. Bukra for mishmash. Bukra for mishmash. Yeah, I like the word bukra. Bukra. Bukra for mishmash. One thing that's interesting is in every culture there's music, right? It doesn't matter which country you go to, whether it's in Middle East or Africa, Asia, Europe, Americas, even Antarctica, people have music. Music is an important part of human experience. Yeah. And it's primary entertainment, right? You don't have to be rich to play music and make music, sing and listen to music. Share music together. Yeah, it's a gift of God. The way you could kind of share music together, and I mean, God is good. When you think about it, how we say God is good. Think about all the things that God gave everybody. Regardless of how rich you are, regardless of how poor you are, everybody gets like a lot of gifts from God. And one of the things is, you know, the joy of singing, to your child if you are a mother with a baby, like lullaby. Every culture has a lullaby. Joy of singing a love song to your husband or wife. Especially during wooing period. Singing together as a family. Like in America, when people drive, they have like, people, families sometimes sing together. You can sing together as a family and, home worship, family worship service. Um, you could have like a little karaoke going at your home. You know, there's a lot you can do, and so singing is one of the simple pleasures that God has given everybody, and it's free. Um, yeah, so God is good. God provides entertainment and ability for people of all backgrounds to enjoy music. You know, uh, and when you walk around, you see how beautiful the world is, how beautiful trees are, how beautiful flowers are. And you come to appreciate, wow, God is really good because God has created this flower. God has created this tree so I can enjoy it. And so tree is growing and you can enjoy the tree by looking at it. And trees are good because they also take in harmful air and then, puts out oxygen, clean air, and so yeah, there are things that God has created that just boggles the mind. Um, it's evidence of God's love for us. That He has given us all these beautiful flowers that we can enjoy as we walk around. You know, um, and women love flowers, right? So, you know, uh, there are tulips. They're beautiful from Holland. Roses. There are different types of flowers. I just walk around Arlington near my neighborhood. I saw like dozens of different flowers in people's gardens or their front yard. And it's a way they enjoy. Some of them enjoy growing the flowers intentionally. Sometimes flowers grow on their own. And you come to appreciate the diversity of flowers and how beautiful they are. And God has given this to us, and that's why we say God is good. God has given us so many good things, yeah. But it's sad because a lot of people are going to die. They're not going to be able to enjoy these beautiful flowers anymore when they die. Look at this, in Illinois, the number of new cases reported in a day skyrocketed on Thursday, that's today, to 9,935, a new high. Do you remember how Florida and California and Texas, they went above 10,000 cases per day? And then several weeks later, they had like 300 deaths, like hundreds of deaths. So that's where Illinois is going, but it's going to be far more because in the summer you may have a 1%, 2% death rate. This is summertime. I mean, it's still bad, but in the winter it's going to be like 10% death rate. So you have like 9,935 cases in Illinois. 4 or 5 weeks from now, they're going to have like 994 deaths, in a day, just in one single day. Do you see why, it makes sense for me, Heerak Christian Kim, the candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District, to say that it's possible for over 3 million Americans to die, right? You see why I'm saying that, right? It makes a lot of sense. All you need is 60,000 people dying in every state of America to have 3 million deaths, and you could probably easily have 60,000 per state by June 2020. That's like, what, 8 months away? Um, yeah. So we're looking at a lot of that. As you can see, um, the third article is about a neighboring state to Illinois. And the title of the article is Coronavirus in Wisconsin, over 5,900 new cases for a second day. So Illinois was where Wisconsin is right now. So Wisconsin may get up to 10,000 or more cases by next week. Who knows, right? Um, a significant portion of the quote is a quarter million people in Wisconsin have tested positive for coronavirus in 9 months. Um, More than 1 in 5 of those people are active cases right now. Yeah, right now. The Wisconsin Department of Human or Health Services reports 5,922 positive tests in the last batch of 15,440 results Thursday. That's today. So they gave tests to 15,440 people, and 5,922 people tested positive. That's like 1/3. So the article continues. It's the second day in a row, Wisconsin has more than 5,900 positive tests. Even though the state received around 800 fewer test results than Wednesday, there were just 14 positive tests shy of another record. Thursday's results bring the positivity rate up to 38.35% by our calculation. Experts want to see those averages at or below 5% to consider the virus getting under control. So if you test 100 people at the positivity rate of like 38.35%, out of 100 people, 38 people are going to test positive. You see what I mean? If it's 5% testing positive out of 125 people. So what that means is COVID-19 is spreading like wildfire right now. In 4 to 5 weeks, a lot of people are going to get sick and die. So Wisconsin is looking at, if they had 5,900 cases today, 4 or 5 weeks from now, 10% of them are going to die. So 590 of them are going to die. That's what they're looking at right now. Nice song. Yeah, some of you may not survive until June 2020, and that's really sad. But it's one of the realities that exist that you may not survive until 2021. It's really sad, just thinking about what could happen. Um, yeah, so you wanna be careful. I would encourage all of you just to stay at home with your immediate family who lives with you, and socialize with them. You know, um, and then with others, just use your, Skype or Zoom or video conferencing programs because there's no reason why I should die, right? We don't know when we're gonna have a vaccine. I'm predicting probably we won't have a workable vaccine for 10 years. And we probably, will struggle finding a cure. And it may not come within reasonable time. So a lot of people can keep dying every year. Like every flu season could have, millions die. Um, but people who are careful and want to survive can survive, right? But you have to take precautions to survive. You can't just survive just doing normal things that you did before the global pandemic. And as you know, I don't believe the liberal media that keeps saying that things are going to get well. It's not going to get well anytime soon. Um, and that's the tragedy of it. Um, probably like if you're a mayor of a city or a governor of a state like Wisconsin or Illinois, you should probably shut down the outbreak areas, just to reduce the death rate, you know. I know you don't want to do it, but how are you going to manage all the deaths? We have until next May, we have like 7 months. How are you going to manage proliferating death, exponentially growing death in your state if you're a mayor or a governor, right? Or city councilman or county board member? How are you going to handle all that? So there's a logistic problem about handling all the death. Obviously there's emotional, psychological, mental, social uh, repercussions from proliferating death as well. And certainly economically you're going to feel it because as a lot of people die, there's going to be problems economically. Can you maintain the food supply chain? If you can't maintain the food supply chain, people can die of hunger. And during times of war, a lot of people die of hunger. Um, and global pandemic is actually worse than a war, right? So if you cannot maintain the food supply, people can actually die of hunger in America and throughout the world during COVID. Uh, so that's something that we can't forget. There are a lot of moving parts, moving pieces that can contribute to the proliferation of COVID-19 death. And so in some sense, all of America is kind of stumbling in the dark. Um, this, this is first full flu season, right, for us. Um, so we don't know what to expect. So that's a serious problem right now. There are a lot of unknowns to what's going to happen. So I have several predictions. One of the predictions is that we're going to have 10,000 nurses die before Christmas 2020 because as cases proliferate, hospitalizations act. Obviously, nurses are the ones who are taking care of the patients. And as you know, I'm a nurse. I'm a registered nurse in the state of Virginia. My registered nurse license in the state of Virginia is multi-state. So I could use that license to practice in North Carolina, Florida, Texas, many different states. West Virginia, South Carolina. Um, and I also have a Washington, D.C. registered nurse license because D.C. is not part of the multi-state contract. Neither is California and Pennsylvania. But since I live near D.C., DC license is important and useful. So I have a DC license separately. Um, and so, and I have a national certification as a clinical nurse leader, CNL. As you know, I graduated from Georgetown University clinical nurse leader master's program, which is 3 years long. If you guys are looking for a great program where you can help a lot of people, and you graduate from college, this is the program to go to. Application deadline, I believe, is maybe December 1st. Um, you should just check it out. I mean, put in an application. It doesn't hurt, especially if you live in Arlington, Alexandria Falls, or Fairfax County. It's like you can live with mom, you can eat mom's food. So, you know, um, you save a lot. And it's a good program. You'll learn a lot. Um, I just want to do a cheer for my CNL member. CNL 2020, CNL 2020, yay! One of my CNL cohort members texted me on like I guess day after the election saying, how did you do on the election? So I texted back on our group chat, CNL 2020 group chat, and said, I didn't win, Tom Byer won, but I started my campaign for 2022, so I intend to win that one. So, so yeah, we keep in touch. We have the group chat still, where we, share comments, thoughts, and keep in touch. So it's kind of nice. Um, it was nice of her to kind of check in and ask about that. Um, yeah, I created this show, COVID-19 Update by Heerak on April 2nd to help people primarily in Virginia's 8th District to survive COVID-19. But it's helping everybody in the world, not just in America, but in England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, France, and Germany. You can see the show wherever you are. And I've been consistently right about my predictions, even when Dr. Fauci was wrong, Admiral Brewer is wrong, uh, Federal FDA Director I was wrong. I was actually right. Um, so my predictions are quite informative and helpful to not just U.S. citizens at home like you, but policymakers. Even Don Byer, I'm sure watches this show to get helpful information about COVID. For U.S. congressmen, senators, governors, mayors, healthcare experts, the show provides important information for a lot of different people. Um, right now, I think we have to be realistic and say 10,000 nurses are going to die in America by Christmas 2020 because COVID-19 is spreading and hospitalization is spiking up. And so a lot of nurses are going to get COVID when they treat patients. So um, we're looking at a serious scenario here. Um, yeah, I'm predicting that 12 nurses will die in every hospital in this area. So minimum 12 nurses will die by Christmas time in Virginia Hospital Center from COVID-19. A minimum 12 nurses will die from COVID-19 in Fairfax, this is in Falls Church or around there. Um, minimum 12 nurses will die in Nova Alexandria. Minimum 12 nurses will die in MedStar Georgetown University Hospital before Christmas. Minimum 12 nurses will die in George Washington University Hospital. Minimum 12 nurses will die in Children's National Hospital. Minimum 12 nurses will die in Sibley Hospital. Minimum 12 nurses will die in Suburban Hospital. This is going to be a COVID-19 hotspot with a lot of death. This Washington, D.C. area. It was that way, in April. I mean, it didn't come to us that much. It was mostly in New York and New Jersey. Um, but, in the next 6 months, at least, this area is going to have a lot of death. So, maybe you will have your children die. Maybe you will have your parents die. Maybe you will have like a spouse, like a husband die. A lot of people are going to die. But as like normal residents die, obviously they go to hospital to get treated. A lot of nurses are going to get COVID and die. So you have a serious problem that you're facing right now in this area of nurse shortage, right? When you have 12 nurses dying, you may have a lot of nurses who are infected and literally suffering and struggling for their life. Some of the nurses will have to go into intensive care units and become intubated, like have a oxygen tube put into their throat to help them breathe. I mean, those things work. They may be not comfortable, but they can actually preserve your life. And there are people who have ventilators who come from, they're on it for like 6 months and they live afterwards and they live a normal life afterwards. So, obviously, modern advances in science help you live and survive. And that's why, science and medicine are important. Um, but, patients will come to hospitals, a lot of them are going to die. If that's just something you cannot avoid. So if you're a nurse working as a nurse now anywhere uh, in hospital, there's danger there. Obviously, it's far more dangerous in the emergency room and ICU, intensive care units. Those are the most dangerous areas, obviously. Um, so so it's something that you gotta think about. Um, life is like that. When you think about you probably didn't expect COVID-19 to happen. I did not. It like expect this to happen like so suddenly. Um, but it's like deep in the night. No one knows the hour or the day but God, and it happens, and you find out. Um, and that's what happened to us. Um, and now we're having a lot of deaths. Over a quarter million people have died in America alone. And I'm a candidate for U.S. Congress in Business 8 districts, and I'm an expert of healthcare, and I'm an expert of education. I'm a licensed teacher in the state of Virginia, District of Columbia, Tennessee, South Carolina, Alabama, and so I use my expertise. I'm an expert of Jewish studies. I'm an expert of theology. I've worked hard to acquire all these different expertise, obviously. Um, but bring all these expertise together and synthesize it into a cool beat. And then I use all this different information, all these expertise to provide you with expert analysis that are rational and accurate. Right? Accuracy is very important. And that's why, this show is important to us. Right? What is music but putting different notes in an arrangement, right? That produces some kind of a creation that is pleasing to the ear, right? That's what music is. And that's what it is, you have a lot of notes they can use, but you have to arrange them in a way that is rational and aesthetic. In the same way, as an expert, you have a lot of information before you. You have to arrange the information in a way where it becomes rational and it's a creative arrangement that makes sense and produces accurate results, right? And that's very, very important. Yeah, so that's why this show is very important. It provides accurate information, predictions that are approximate the reality that is to come. Live long and prosper. Oh, this is pretty nice. Like this, you know? Ah, yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, anyway, yeah, I mean, some of you may miss like dancing at a club or, you know, I love salsa dancing, Argentinian tango. I learned it when I was at University of Heidelberg. And it's fun, you know, these dances are fun, and, like modern dance. This is kind of fun too, because you can do like crazy movements, with your fingers. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. I think I should like design like an exercise routine into the show. COVID-19 with Heerak with some exercise routines. Anyhow, yeah. So, well, I hope you enjoyed your today's show and also learned something new and something that's going to help you and your children survive. That's very, very important. Um, and it's a daily show. Hamza. But anyhow, yeah. So you may find me going like this tomorrow in the show too. uh, maybe like from now until tomorrow, like continuously. No, I have like some stuff to do. But if I didn't have stuff to do, no, yeah, yeah. When I was in Europe, I used to dance like 6 hours straight, 7 hours straight, like from like 10 p.m. to like 6 a.m. European clubs are open all night long, like especially in Spain. Like in France, they're open like all night long. Germany as well. Yeah, it's fun. Sometimes you go to like a techno club. This is more like techno music. Um, it's just kind of fun. There's you could do different kinds of artistic movements. But yeah. But anyway, yeah. Yeah. So tune in again tomorrow. And I may have some other good music for you tomorrow. So yeah. So well, I hope you have a good, a good day tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.